Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to connect to the database. And in order to connect to the database, we need to use the credentials given by the database so that we can use it in our project and be able to connect to the database. So the first step is that you need to open up your project, and then on the left side, you should find a file called .env, this file, .env. Click on it. If you click on it, you will find that it contains constants. And here you'll find this section. In this section, you'll find that we have the database connection, the host, the port, the database, the username, and the password. So we need to change some of these with the database credentials. So what we need to do is that first, the database connection is going to be MySQL. So we need to keep this as is. The second one is the database host. The host is going to be 127.0.0.1. So we will not need to change this either. Instead, we need to change the database, the name of the database, and the username and the password. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to head on over to the browser, and then first you need to make sure that your Apache web server is up and running. You need to open up XAMPP, and then you need to click on Manage Servers, and then you need to run your Apache web server as well as MySQL. And then in the browser, you need to go to localhost and then /php myadmin. Now in PHP myadmin, you need to click on user accounts. Now in the user accounts, under the user accounts, you will find by default, you will find these accounts. So the account that I'm going to be using is this one. Root, the username is root. The host name is 127.0.0.1 and the password is nothing. So in our project, the database is the host is 127.0.0.1. So this is correct. The username is root, and here the username is root. So this is correct. The password is nothing, and here the password is nothing. So we don't need to change any of these. The only thing now that we need to change is the database. So we need to create a new database here. I'm going to create a database. I'm going to click on here, I'm going to click on new, you need to click on new, and then you need to create a database. Here, I'm going to create a database. I'm going to name it project _ Laravel. And then I'm going to click on create. Now on the left side, you should find a new database called project _ Laravel. So here in our project, we need to change the database name. We need to say here, instead of Laravel, we need to say project _ Laravel. And that's it. Lastly, you just need to click on file and then save all, and we are good to go. Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to create another table. So I'm going to create a new table called orders. So here I'm going to say, again, PHP artisan make migration and then create orders _ table. And now the process is much easier. Now if you open up the migrations here, you'll find that we have a new file called order date and then create orders table. If you open it, you will find that we have here create orders table, and now we can create that table. So the fields or the columns that we need for this table are first the ID, and then we want the cost of the order. So I'm going to say here decimal, and then cost. That's going to be 8 digits and 2 after the point. We also need the name and the email and the status. So we need the table name, which is going to be a string, the name of the user or the customer. So I'm going to say string name. And then we need the table string email. And we need also the status and the phone and the city. So we need table, then string status, the order status, whether it's paid or not. We need the address and the city, the phone, the city, and the address. So I'm going to say string city, and then table string, and then address, and then we need also the phone, table, and then string. I'm going to be using a string for the phone because the phone could be long and we might need to store it as a string. And we also need phone, city, address, and we need the date. So finally, we need to say here table, and then date, and then here we need to say date, and that's it. We have all of these, and that's it. Let me now click on file and then save all, and we need to create another table here. Save, just save. We need to create another table called order items. So for the order items, we need to open up again the terminal, and then we need to say PHP artisan make migration, and then create order items underscore table. And this table is going to store details about the order, such as each single product that exists in the order. So I'm going to open up again the migrations, and then now we have a new file called create order items table. Now for this table, we need the following fields. We need the order ID, the product ID, the product name, price, image, quantity. So I'm going to start here by saying table, and then I'm going to say integer order ID, and then we need table, and then we need the product ID, which is also going to be integer, product ID, and then we need the product name, which is going to be a string, table, and then string product name, and then we need the price, which is going to be decimal, product price, and again it's going to be 82, and we also need the image, quantity, date. Image, string image, string product image, and then table, and then integer, and we need the quantity and the date. So the quantity here, product quantity, how many items the user bought, and finally the date. I'm going to say table date, order date, and that's it. Let me now click on save. Let me make sure first we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's correct. Let me click on file and then save. Finally, we need to create a table called payments, which is going to store the payment information. So I'm going to create a new table here. I'm going to say PHP artisan make migration, and then create payments table. Now in this table, we need, let me open up the migrations, and we would need only 3 columns. We would need the ID, of course, and then we will also need the order ID, the transaction ID, and the date. So we need here table, order ID, which is going to be a string. I should say string first. Actually, it's going to be integer. I should say integer. And then order ID. And then table string. The transaction ID is going to be a string, because the transaction ID is not an ID. It's not a number. It's a string. It's not going to be a number. It's going to be a combination of numbers and characters. So we need to say string. Transaction ID. And finally, the date. I'm going to say table date. And we are good to go. Now let me click on file and then save all. Let me make sure that we have 1, 2, 3. So these are the columns. Let me remove this now. Let me close this. And let me click on file and then save all. And now the most important thing that we need to do now is that we need to migrate. Migrate means that we need to insert these tables into the database. These tables now have been created, but they are in the project, and the database doesn't know about that. So the data, in order to let the database, hey database, we have 3 tables or 4 tables or whatever number of tables that we want to insert, then we need to use the migration command. So I'm going to say here what I'm going to say is that I'm going to say PHP and then artisan and then migrate, and then hit enter. As you can see now, a lot of commands have been executed. These commands are commands that inserted the tables into the database. So all of these tables have been inserted into the database. Some of these tables are our tables, and other tables are related to Laravel. So don't worry about other tables. If you find different tables that you don't recognize, don't freak out, because Laravel has a few other tables that they need to insert into your database so that the project runs successfully. Now, if you open up your PHPMyAdmin, and if you go to your project Laravel, you should find that we have a lot of tables. Again, don't freak out. There are here tables that have been created by Laravel. Not all of the tables have been created by us, but the tables that we created are orders, order items, and payments. So these are the tables, also the products. These are the tables that we have created. For example, here we have the products table, which contains the ID, name, description, price, sale, price, quantity, category, type, image, and image one. So now we have the tables created into our database. Now it's time to add products into the database. So the first step is that you need to make sure that your Apache web server as well as your MySQL database are up and running. So you need to open the XAMPP. You need to open XAMPP and then make sure that your Apache web server and MySQL both up and running. If not, you need to click on them and then click on Start. Next step is that you need to open the browser and type localhost/dashboard, and then click on PHPMyAdmin in order to head over to the database. And this is going to take me to the database. So as you can see now, PHPMyAdmin will display all of the databases on the left side. Let me now open the my database, the project Laravel database, and then I'm gonna open up the products table, because the products table contains will be used to add products to it. So if you click on project Laravel, the name of the database, you will find all of the tables. I have here the products. I'm gonna click on it, and then let me click on it first. It's loading. And then I'm going to insert products to it. Let me show you how you can insert products to it. So you need to click on Insert. Now, in order to insert products to the products table, you need to follow the following steps. You just need to fill this form with the data that you want. So for example, here for the name, we need to type the name of the product, the description, the price, all of these things. For the ID, just keep it empty, because the ID will be given by the database. Don't worry about the ID. Let's start with the name. So for the name, let me say, for example, fish food. For example, description, I'm going to say fish food for cats. And then price, let's say $39.99. Sale price, the sale price is if you are offering discounts, you need to type the sale price here. If you are not, just keep it empty and make sure that this is checked. So if you are offering discounts, you need to uncheck this, and then you need to type the discounted price. I'm going to say here $29.99. Quantity is how many of these containers or products do you have in your inventory. Let's say I have 20. Category. So the category, this is important. Category is going to be different from one person to another. It depends upon how you want to categorize your products. I'm going to categorize by my products depending upon based on the pets that I have, that I have food for. So I'm going to say here, for example, cats. Type. The type can be, again, type is going to be different from one person to another. For example, the type is food. It could be food, snacks, it depends again. Gadget, it depends. Whatever you are, the way you are categorizing and having types for your products. Image, this is super important. So in order to include an image, you need to follow two steps. The first step is to include the image in your project. So here, let me show you this. You need to open, let me close this and let me open my Laravel project. So this is my Laravel project. You need to open the public. This is the public folder. You need to click on it and then open it. And then you need to open the images. And then in the images folder, you need to add the image that you want here in the images folder. So I already have images. If you don't have images, you need to drag the image and drop it onto the images folder here. So this is the first step. The second step is to get the name of the image and add it in the database. So for example, let me show you this image. I have this image. Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to create a new controller. So to create a controller, you need to open up the terminal, and then in the terminal, you need to do the following. First, you need to cd to your project. So I'm going to here say cd and then desktop, because my project is on my desktop. And then I'm going to say cd and then the name of the project. So my project is called Laravel _project. And then you need to type the following command. You need to say php artisan make controller, and then the name of the controller. So the name of the controller is going to be project controller. And I want you to pay attention to the name of the controller. The first letter is capitalized, and also the C in controller is capitalized. Controller. And make sure that the spelling is correct. Finally, click hit enter, and this is going to create here a new controller. It's going to say controller created successfully. So where this controller has been created, this controller has been created in the app, and then HTTP, and then controllers, and then project controller. If you open it, you'll find that it's a simple class called project controller. So this is the controller that we will be using. And in order to use it, I'm going to create a function. I'm going to say here function, and then I'm going to say index, and then I'm going to say return, and then I'm going to return to the view, and then I'm going to return to the view, to the main view, which is /. Actually, the view is called index. So the view is called index. So therefore, I'm going to return to the view. So this is a basic function that I'm going to be using later to be called and return the index view. Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to fix here a few things with the images. So not all of the images are being displayed, and the reason is because the directory is not correct in some of the pages. So for example, in the index, you'll find that here for this image, we have said here, let me show you where it is. We have this image. Here we have this image. And the source is asset and then image about that JPEG, and that's fine. There is no problem with this. However, the problem is with the name of the folder. So remember, the name of the folder that stores the image is called images. This folder, it's called images. It's called images, not img. So we need to say here images. So if you say images, now if you refresh, this is going to display the image here. This is gonna get the image. Similarly with other images. So let's search for any image. So we have here, we have, let me search for images, img. So here we need to say images. Also here we need to say images. And if you scroll, you'll find that we have here, we need to say images. Also here, images. And here, images. So the reason is because the name of the folder is images, not img. Here as well, we need to say images. And we are done. So now we are done with this. Let me refresh and show you that this is going to work. So as you can see, it's going to work. However, now we need to work on the second thing. So the second thing is that we need to get the products, display here a few products in the home page. And in order to get the products, what we need to do is that we need to use the database to get the products. Here, these products are static products, meaning that they are being displayed because we have HTML code. So they are not the real products. But in order to get the real products, we have to connect to the database. So if you go to the database, if you open the localhost dashboard, and then go to the PHPMyAdmin, and then open the database, you'll find that we have added products. And I told you to add products because without products, we will not be able to get products and test. So as you can see, I have added here almost 10 products. Let's now get these products from the database and display them here. So to get these products, we need to first open the app, and then HTTP, and then controllers, and then project controller. Now in the project controller, the first step is that we need to import the database class, because the database class will allow us to connect to the database. So at the top, we need to say use, and then illuminate, and then backslash support, and then backslash facades, and then backslash DB, which is database. Now we need to use this database class in the index function, because the index function will be used to get the products and display them in the home page. So in the index function, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say here DB, and then I'm going to statically call a function called table. This function will allow us to connect to any table we want. So let's connect to the products table because we want to get the products. So we need to connect to the products table. So we have to say here table, and then we pass the name of the table, which is products. And then what we want to do is that we want to get the products. So to get the products, we can call a function called get. This function will get us all of the products. So this function is going to get all of the products in an array, and it will get products in a form of objects. So it will return an array of objects where each single object represents a product. So this function will return all of these products, and each single product will be stored in an object. So let's store this in a variable called products. So products is going to be equal to database, table, and then products, and then get. Pretty simple. Now, in order to display the products, we need to pass this products variable to the index. So I'm going to say here, comma, and then I'm going to create an array and I'm going to give it a key value pair, where the key is going to be products and the value is the products itself, the products variable. And that's it. Now, the second step is to create a route that uses this function. So if you open the routes web.php, you'll find that we have here the index, the / which uses the view index. However, instead of using this function, we need to use this function. So to use this function, we need to import the controller in the web.php. So in the web.php at the top, we need to say use and then app and then backslash here we need to say app and then backslash http and then backslash and then controllers here, controllers, and then backslash project controller. And make sure that the app here is capital. App, the A here is capital. App, and then backslash support, backslash controllers, backslash project controller. And we are done importing the controller. Now we need to use this controller. So to use this controller, instead of this function, I'm going to remove this function now. And instead, I'm going to create an array. And then I'm going to say project controller, colon, class, and then comma, and then the name of the function that I want to use from this class. So from this class, the function that I want to use is the index. So I'm going to say here in single quotes, I'm going to say index. And that's it. Now we can also give this route, we can give it a name, because if you give this a name, you will be able to refer to this URL easily. So I'm going to say here home. I'm going to give it a name home because this is the home page. So now we are done with the second step. So the second step is to use the controller in the web to point to the index function so that the index function gets executed whenever user goes to the main page. The last step is to use the products in the index view. So in the index view, in order to display the products, we need to loop over the products. So to loop over the products, we need to open the resources, views, index, and in the index, we need to remove these products because these products, as I told you, these products are static products. So we need to remove them. So these products are these. Here we have products starts here. So it starts here. So we need to remove this and this and this and this and this and keep only one. So we need to keep only one because I'm going to be using one to loop over the products. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove all of them and I'm going to keep only one. I'm going to keep only this. So if you open this, you'll find that we have now this. This is the only product that we have. Now if you save and if you refresh the page, you should find that we have only one. As you can see now, you will have only one product. And here it's being displayed because I'm using the OL class, but don't worry about this. It will be fixed when I finish working on it. So here what we want to do is that we want to loop over the products array. So here I'm going to say at for each products as product, and then at the end we need to say here at and for each, and in between we need to display the product information. So let's start with the image. So for the image we need to say here, we need to remove this image name, and instead we need to say dot and then product, $ product, and then arrow, and then the field that stores the image. So the field, remember the field that stores the image is is this, is the image. So we need to say here product arrow image. For the name, we need to remove this static name, and then we need to say double curly braces, and then product, and then name. Because the field that stores the name is, remember, name. In the database, the field is called name. For the price, we need to say here double curly braces, and then product, and then arrow price. And that's it. Let me save and let me test. Now, if I refresh, I'm going to get all of the products being displayed here. As you can see, all of the products being displayed. And if you want to make sure that you got the products correctly, you can compare the products with the database. So the first product here, the first product is fish food for cats. So the first product in my database is fish food for cats, and the cost is 39. So here the cost is 39. The second product is chicken food for cats, and here chicken food for cats, and the cost is 49, and here the cost is 49. So that's correct. So now we got all of the products. Another thing that we need to do is that we need to display the discounted price. Remember, in the database, we have price and sale price. So if you have a sale, we need to display the discounted price, the sale price. So in order to do this, we need to use if statement. Here, we need to say at if, and then product sale price, sale underscore price. If the sale price is not equal to null, if it's not equal to null, then we need to say here h5, and then class primary, text primary, and then mb5, and then we need to say $, and then double curly braces, and then product sale arrow sale price. And we need to kind of cancel the product price. We need to display a line over the price. So for this, I'm going to say style, and then text decoration line through. This is going to display a line through the price. And we need also to say, at else, if the sale price is not equal to null, then we just need to display we just need to display the original price. So I'm gonna here paste the original price without the text root, without the text root. So I'm gonna remove this, and then I'm gonna say at and if. So let me explain this one more time, because I know that it's a little complicated. Here, what I'm doing is that I'm using if statement to check whether the sale price is equal to null or not. If it's not equal to null, if in the database there is a sale price, then we need to display it. So we display it here. And we display also the original price, but we display a line through it, indicating that this is no longer the price that users will pay. Else, if the sale price is equal to null, then we need to display just the original price. And that's it. And then we say end if to close to complete the structure. And that's it. Let me now save and test. I'm going to click on file and then save, and let me test. I'm going to here refresh. And as you can see, if you refresh, you will find that we have here the discounted price if we have a discount, and the sale price. However, we need to remove the space between them. So I'm going to here remove this. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to say 0 and here. And then I'm going to refresh one more time, and the space will be removed, as you can see. Now the discounted price will be displayed first, and then the original price. The discounted, the original, the discounted, and the original. If you don't have a discount, it will only display the original price. So now it looks outstanding. Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to take the user to the single product page. If they click on this eye, so that they will be able to check full information about any product of these products. So to do this, we need to add a link here. We have here two buttons. This button, the second button, this button is an eye, and we need to kind of display, we need to kind of activate this button. So to activate this button here, we have href. For this href, I'm going to say here, double curly braces, and then I'm going to say root, and then I'm going to take the user to the single product root. So I'm going to say here, single underscore product. However, we need to give the single product, we need to give it a name here, but I'm gonna do this shortly. Now we need to pass something else with this. We need to pass the product ID, because in order to display the product in a single page, we need to know which product we want to display. So we need to get the product by ID. We need to know the ID of that product. So I'm gonna say here ID, and then arrow, and then $sign, and then product arrow ID. And then now we are done with this part. The second part is that we need to, in the web, we need to create, we need to pass the ID and change the structure here. So to change the structure, first I'm going to remove this function, and then I'm going to here say /, and then I'm going to say curly braces and then ID, because we are passing, here we are passing the ID. We are passing the ID as a parameter. And here we are receiving the ID in the URL. The second thing that we need to do is that we need to create an array with the controller that will be used, which is the project controller. And then we need to create a function that will be executed once user goes to this URL. So the function name is going to be single underscore product. And then we need to give it a name. We need to say name, and the name will be obviously and should be single underscore product. Now we need to create this function, the single product function. So I'm going to open the project controller, and in the project controller, we need to say public, and then function, and then single underscore product. And then we need to pass two parameters. The first parameter is the request. So you need to make sure that you have this line at the top. Use illuminate /http /request. And here we need to pass the request. We need to say request. The second parameter is the ID. Remember, the ID is passed in the URL, and we need to receive it in the function. So in the function, we need to say comma and then ID. Now, in this function, we need to connect to the database and get that product from the database. So I'm going to say database table, and then products. And then, unlike before, we cannot say get. If you say get, you will get all of the products. And now we need to get only one product. And to get only one product, we can use a function called where. This function will allow us to get a product by its ID. So I'm going to say where ID, comma ID, meaning that I want to get a product that has this ID. And then I'm going to say get. So this is going to return only one product which has this ID. And this is going to be stored in an array. So this is going to return an array of a single object. This is going to return an array of a single object. So I'm going to store this in a variable called product underscore array. And then I'm going to say return. And then we want to return to the view, which is the single underscore product view. And we need to return with the product array. I'm going to say return product array, product array. The key is product array, and the value is the variable, the product array. The last step is to display the product array, the product information in the product, in the single product page. So we need to loop over this array, even though this is an array, but it has only one product. So we need to open the single product. And then here in the single product, we need to do the following. We need to say for each product array, product underscore array as product, And then at the end, we need to say here, and for each. At and for each. And in between, we need to display the information about the product. So let's start with the image. For the image, I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to say dot, and then product image. For the name, I'm going to here remove this, and then I'm going to say double curly braces, and then product arrow name. For the price, we can get the code from the homepage because we need to display the original price and the sale discounted price. So I'm going to head on over to the index and copy this part, only this part. And then I'm going to paste it in the single product page instead of this line. Instead of this line, I'm going to remove this line. And then I'm going to paste this if statement here. We also want to display the description. I'm going to say here, let's say P, and then I'm going to say double curly braces, and then product description. You can also display the category. You can say here product category, product arrow category. Let me save and let me now test. By the way, we don't need here, we need this, so we need to keep this. There's no problem with this. Let me save and let me test. I'm going to save all now. Let me head on over to the browser to test. Now let me refresh the home page. Let me click on the eye. If you click on the eye, this eye, it should take you to the single product page. As you can see, it will take you to the single product page, and it will display full information. It will display the name, the description, the category, the sale price, and the discounted discounted price and the sale price. If you go back and click on this, for example, it should display also the full information. They say the name, the description, the category, the discounted price, and the original price, which is amazing. Now what we need to do is that we need to protect the single product page, because if you try to go to the single underscore product without passing an ID, you will get this error page. You will get an empty page, and we don't want that. Instead, we want to prevent the user from going to the single product page unless they have an ID, unless they click on the button. And to do this, we can copy this now. We can copy it and then paste it below. We can move it here. And then the old one, with the old one, we can remove this code, and then we can remove the ID, and then we can say comma and then function, and then we can say return, and then redirect. And then we need to redirect to the /, which is the home page. So let me explain this. If the single product doesn't have an ID, then we redirect the user to the home page because we don't have an ID, and we cannot get a product whose ID is not known. In case we have the ID, we can take the user to the single product view because we will execute the single product function. Let me save and test. Now, if I try to go to the single product without an ID, it will take me to the home page. But if I click on one of these products here, this eye, it will take me to the product page because we have the ID, and it will display here the ID. So the ID will, if the ID is known, it will take the user to the single product page, which is amazing. Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to work on the products page. If you go to the products page, you'll find that we have products, but the problem is that these products are hard-coded. So we need to get the products, all of the products, and display them in the products page. So to do this, we need to create two things. First, we need to start with the products here. We need to create a root for this. So I'm going to remove this function, and instead I'm going to say array, and then I'm going to say project controller class comma products, which is the name of the function. And I'm going to also give it a name. I'm going to say name, and the name is products. And then we need to create this products function. So I'm going to open up the project controller, and in the project controller, we need to create this function. I'm going to say here public, and then function, and then project. And then in this function, we can copy the code from the index because it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. However, there will be something different. The difference is that the view that I'm using is not the index. The view is products. Now, the third step is that we need to open the products view and use the products array. So let me open up the views products, which is this. And then we need to remove these products. We need to remove these products and keep only one. So I'm going to remove this. And then I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to remove also this. And finally, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep only this. Let me save and make sure that I have only one. Let me refresh. And here it says project controller products doesn't exist. So I have a problem. I should say in the project controller, I should say products. Here, I shouldn't say project. I should say products. So make sure that this is products. Now, if I refresh, as you can see in the products page, I have only one product. Now, let me loop over the products. So to loop over the products, I'm going to say at for each what? For each products as product. And then at the end, we have to say at end for each. And in between, I'm going to first start with the image. For the image, we need to remove this. And then we need to say dot, and then product arrow image. For the name, we need to say double curly braces, and then product arrow name. For the price, we need to get the code from the index because we need to display both the original and the discounted price. So we need to get this code and then paste it here instead of this price. For the this button, this I, we also need to get the code from the index. Remember, we have this I'm gonna copy this A tag, and then I'm gonna paste it. Instead of this, I'm gonna remove this, and then I'm gonna paste this A tag. Finally, we need to save and test. I'm gonna save and test, and the image will not work, and I'm gonna explain why it will not work. Let me refresh. So if you refresh, as you can see, I'm gonna get the products. As you can see, all of the products will be returned. However, we have a problem. The images are not being displayed. And the reason is because we are here saying image, img. But the name of the folder that stores the image is images. So we need to say here images. Images, and then / and then dot product image. Let me refresh now, and we will have all of the images. As you can see, all of the images will be displayed. And it looks amazing. Another thing that we need to fix is that we need to add a space because, as you can see, the buttons are being displayed behind the products that's underneath this one. So to fix this, we need to say here margin MB3. This is gonna fix it. As you can see, there will be some space. You can increase this further. You can say MB4 or 5. Let's say 4. If you say 4, this is going to add some space. And now we have these buttons. And the good news is that if you click on this, it will take you to the single product page. Finally, I want you to compare this with the database in order to make sure that you got the products that you have in the database. So here, the first product is fish, food, cats. And here, fish, food, cats. The second product is chicken, food, cats. Here, chicken, food, cats. The third is meat, food for cats. And here, meat, food for cats. So that's correct. So now we got all of the products and they are being displayed here. And it's just amazing.